I'm within 2 inches on every dimension, so I don't know if it's actually gonna fit. All right, here we go. Holy smokes, I gotta show you guys this. I just am bump touching this cabinet up here. Here it is, the ATV with tracks. We're gonna find out. I haven't tried it yet if it's gonna fit inside. I did measure it, of course, so you'd think, oh, well, he already knows. Every dimension from what I've measured, and it's hard to measure because of the top-down way that it works, and if you have suspension on it or not, it kind of spreads out or tightens up. I'm within 2 inches on every dimension, so I don't know if it's actually gonna fit. I am praying that it does because I really want it to work out just absolutely awesome. However, we're gonna see, number one, does it fit? You guys are gonna find out same time as me. We're gonna point the camera, we're gonna see. And two, if it does fit, we're gonna take it off. I'm gonna disconnect the truck from it, and we're gonna see how well the tracked ATV does pulling it. I will say, in theory, I would think that this can pull it a little bit better than the video that I'll link up here in the corner, and then at the end of the video if you want to see how it worked with wheels, because it did fit with wheels on it and it did pull it just fine. A little bit of tongue weight, was pretty heavy on it. I'm hoping to not have to buy a dolly for it, but if I have to, I will. The tracks get really close to down here on it, and so I just want to, hopefully, it's not going to add so much tongue weight that it's going to scrape, because otherwise I'll have an issue and I'll have to end up getting a dolly for it just to get it down to the ice. Then of course, when it's in skid mode, it's not going to be a problem. So without further ado, let's go ahead and try loading this thing in and see if it fits. All right, here we go. Width-wise, it's looking good. We're still gonna hug the left as good as we can. Going in slow. Yeah, we look fine in terms of width. Here we are. That's literally as far as we can go up. It looks like we're in. Holy smokes, I gotta show you guys this. I think it's in. Should we check and make sure we can shut the door first? Let's do that. It shuts, yeah! All right, let me show you guys this. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, so if we look on the left here, you can see exactly how much clearance I got. I'll try to sneak in as close as I can, so that way you can see that right there. One finger, maybe two can fit in there, and that's it. And that's the same all the way up towards the front, all right? So that's the left side. That's what we're working with. Let me back up and give you a view. On the right side, I've got a little bit more clearance, so I'm fine. Tight squeeze for sure, but I'm fine in terms of width. I've got probably 6 inches on this side, and that's what we're working at. In terms of height, it is a little taller with tracks, so my windshield came just below that thing that I have pointing down. If I needed to, I could pull it out, but we will clear it. You can see here we've got 4 fingers between the top of these bars and the bottom of that bed when it's as high as it can go in that storage position. So that's what we're working with there. In terms of clearance in the back, look at this. Look at this. You can't get it any tighter than that. Let me go underneath and point up so that way you can see. We are just inside of where the door closes here. This rubber part right here is where the door closes up to. And if I get right underneath it, so you can see me vertical here, we've got maybe an inch, maybe a half an inch before we're at the rubber. I'll get you an angle from the other side so that way you can see. We are right freaking there. You can tell the OtterBox comes a couple inches out past the tracks. If I back it up enough, you might be able to see tracks down the bottom. If I go up, just in correlation to that bar, that black bar there, you can see how close we are. In that black bar, we've got like an inch or two before that seals. So that's how tight it is on the back. Now, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like from the front, because you might just say, well, move up further. Well, I can't. I just am bump touching this cabinet up here, which is going to be a problem. You can see here, I'm just touching it. I purposefully went as slow as I could because obviously I don't want to run into this, but I'm just touching it with the rubber. So I can't really go back any further. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like a cutting board there just so that it bumps into the cutting board. Maybe I lose 1/4 of an inch, but that's what I'm gonna have to do because I don't want to beat up that side of that front cabinet. So that's where we're at there. Another view down the right-hand side. You can see just how close I got over here. Perfectly, and then a little bit more space over here. That way I can get off of the ATV, sneak out on the left, and get out. So yes, I am absolutely thrilled it fits, number one. Number two, I'm gonna need to take my time pulling it in and out. It's not that hard to maneuver, but I need to make sure I'm not running into the front cabinet and that I get it far enough over so I can sneak out on the right and make sure that door shuts. So I'm very happy. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull her off, and we're gonna see how it does towing it with the tongue weight, because I'm going to leave this on its wheels. I know it'll obviously be able to handle it when it's down in skid mode, since I could do that with wheels, but I want to make sure with the wheels up on the ice house, taking all that tongue weight, can it handle it, or am I going to need to get a dolly when I have the tracks on? Let's find out. There it goes. All right, so that's going the rest of the way up. We can see it is on the hitch, which is good. We got plenty of clearance back here. We still got our normal suspension, which is good. Here's the concern that I have right here. We can see here we've got just a tiny little bit of clearance in between this guy and our track. I'm gonna try to drive it and see how it does, but I'm expecting very little inclines and declines. We're gonna have to make sure that we're handling with it on wheels. Again, when it's in skid mode, there's no tongue weight, so I'm not worried about that. This side's the exact same here. So I'm gonna need to take it really slow. If it rubs a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but I'm gonna need to go in super slow-mo just to make sure I don't have rubbing. Otherwise, what will happen is I'll get some bad rubbing and maybe some stuff broken, which we definitely don't want. But as of now, it sits on there just fine. I'll set the camera up. You'll see me drive by here. Let's see how well it does. First, we're gonna need to back it up in order to get the blocks out. It's a little chilly out, so I'm gonna throw gloves on. All right, it backed up just fine so I could get these blocks out of the way. So that's a good sign. It's definitely nice having the additional traction on the ground from the tracks versus just the wheels. All right, let's see how she does. We got her in low. She's working good. We made it, it handled it. All right, so I'm stoked to say it's gonna work. It definitely smelt like it was starting to get a little warm backing it up the driveway. So we're gonna limit how often we're towing it on wheels. It should just be to get it down to the ice and get it off of the ice. Right now, probably only for like a week or two, because then I should be able to drive the truck out onto the ice and drop it down, and I won't even need to do this. So this is probably only gonna happen for a week or two, and then it'll just always be in skid mode with the track. So I'm really excited. Hopefully in the next few videos, you see me out on the ice with this thing, towing it around as a skid house. If you wanna see more about this trailer and what I'm doing to it, check out these other videos on the channel. And until next time, take it easy.